Today you are going to learn how do I use brackets, braces, parentheses, and exponents to solve operations. So our main lesson is around order of operations. I'll explain what that means in a minute. Today you're going to solve problems that have more than one operation. However, it's kind of difficult to realize where to start and what operation to do first. So mathematicians have come together and have agreed upon this order for operations when there's more than one in a particular question. PEMDAS is the abbreviation that we use, P standing for parentheses, brackets, and braces, E standing for exponents, M and D standing for multiplying or dividing, A and S standing for adding and subtracting. So we start from the very first thing. We look at a problem and see if there are any parentheses. Brackets, which looks like this, or braces, which kind of look like this. They're little squiggly lines. Exponents you know is like 10 to the power of 2, which means that main digit, we take that main digit and multiply itself as many times. So this would be 10 times itself 2 times. Then we look for multiplication or division. Now, it's really whatever comes first in the problem, looking from left to right, just like you're reading a sentence. And then finally, we look for problems that have addition or subtraction. Again, it doesn't matter which one comes first, either subtraction or addition, whichever one goes from left to right. Let's take a peek at a couple of problems. Another way that you can remember the order of operations is by using this sentence. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please standing for the P in parentheses, E for excuse for the E in exponents, my standing for the M in multiplication, dear standing for the D in division, Aunt standing for the A in addition, Sally standing for the S in subtraction. So if you think to yourself, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you'll at least remember the first letter and can think about the order of operations. Let's try a problem. First, I always like to write that, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or at least start to write with the letters on the side of the page. P standing for parentheses, E standing for exponents. Please excuse my standing for multiplication, dear standing for division. Please excuse my dear A standing for addition, Aunt, and Sally standing for subtraction. All right, if we look at the problem, it says 6 plus 8 divided by 4 times 3. Well, most fifth graders want to go start left to right and just start with the 6 plus 8. But we know we have to look first to see if there is any parentheses, exponents, and then we look to see multiplication or division, and then addition or subtraction. So I'm going to start with this. If I look at my problem, I don't see any parentheses, so I'm going to put a little check mark by that. I also don't see any exponents. So now I'm going to look for multiplication or division. I see both. And actually, division comes first, so I'm going to do the division problem first. I'm going to do the 8 divided by 4. I like to write a little caret underneath, so I'm looking like I'm connecting them. So I know 8 divided by 4 is 2. But I still have the rest of the problem. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. So now I have 6 plus 2, which I got from 8 divided by 4, times 3. So I'm done with my division, but I still have multiplication. So I'm going to do that next. 3 times 2, or 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem and bring down my other number. So I have not used 6 plus. So I'm going to add 6 plus 6. I'm done with multiplication and division, so I'm going to look for addition or subtraction. The only thing I see is addition. So I'm going to add 6 plus 6, and I get 12 for my final answer of this problem. Let's try another one using the same order of operations. Again, I like to write my please excuse my dear Aunt Sally on the side to remember myself in order. First, I'm looking for those parentheses. I don't see any, so I'm going to mark it off. No exponents, mark it off. Multiplication or division. Let's look. Well, I see division first, so I'm going to start with 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 I know is 4, because 4 goes into 16 4 times. Now I'm going to rewrite the rest of my problem. I haven't used times 3, and I haven't used the 15 minus, so I'm just going to bring those down. Again, I'm going to look to see if there's any more multiplication or division. I have one more multiplication sign left. I see 4 times 3. I know 4 times 3 is 12. And I'm going to rewrite the rest of my problem. I still haven't used that 15 and the subtraction sign. No more multiplication and division, so I can check those off. Now I'm looking for addition or subtraction. Again, whichever comes first in the problem. I see 15 minus 12 is the last thing I have to do, so 3 is my final answer, and I have no other operations to finish. Here's a word problem. Alex says the equation below has an answer of 28, but Janice thinks it's 36. Who is correct? Well, let's see. Again, I always like to write, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally on the side, just so I remember my order of operations. Again, I'm going to see, are there any parentheses in this problem? I see it's 4 plus 8 times 6 divided by 2. No parentheses. Check it off. I also don't see any exponents, so that's done. Multiplication or division comes next, and remember, they kind of go as a grouping. So if I look from left to right, so left to right, just like you're reading a sentence, I see the first thing is 8 times 6. So 8 times 6, I'm going to write down, it's 48. And now I'm going to write down the rest of the problem after it. So I haven't used that division sign, divided by 2, so I'm going to write that after. And I'm also going to write before 4 plus, because the only thing that I just used is that 8 times 6 to get 48. Now, let's move on. I'm still at multiplication or division, and I see there's another division problem. So I'm going to take 48 and I'm going to divide it by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24, so I'm going to write that underneath. Now I'm done with multiplication and division. I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. Again, I have not used this 4 plus, so I'm going to bring it down and rewrite the problem. So I have 4 plus 24. The last thing I'm looking for is an addition or subtraction, and I only see addition. So I finalize my problem, 4 plus 24, to get a final answer of 28. If I look back into my problem, the problem says, Alex says the equation below has an answer of 28, but Janice thinks it's 36. Who is correct? Well, I know by doing this problem, Alex is correct because he got 28. So I'm going to write down Alex is correct. Here's one harder problem. This is a bigger problem that you definitely see some parentheses and brackets. So let's try it together. I'm again going to write, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally on the side. And now I'm going to read through the problem. It says 30 divided by, and that's a bracket, 3 plus, parentheses, 4 minus 2 times 6, bracket, plus 10. All right, if we start with the parentheses, I'm looking for the parentheses. I see 2 sets of parentheses ultimately. Let me take my highlighter. I see the parentheses here. And I also see them as brackets here. So these are hard because really ultimately you have to think about which is from the outside in. The ones that are closest inside is this 4 minus 2. So I'm going to start with that now. So 4 minus 2 is 2. So I'm going to 2. Now I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. So the only thing that I just did is got rid of those 2 parentheses, 4 minus 2, that are around that. So now I'm going to rewrite the rest. I didn't use 6 times bracket plus 10. And then before it, I didn't use the 3, the bracket, the plus sign, and the division symbol. Oops. All right, now we're going to keep moving on. If I'm thinking about what's inside the braces, I not only see 2 operations because I have braces here. There's 3 plus 2, and I could also do 2 times 6. So if I think about my order of operations, which comes before, multiplication or addition? Think of the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Which comes first? You're right if you said multiplication. So I'm going to do that one first. I'm going to do 2 times 6 is 12. Finish out my bracket. And then before it, I'm going to write the 3 plus because I didn't use that. Plus 10. and then 30 divided by. So now I have only one thing left in my bracket, and then I'll be done with the parentheses. It's 3 plus 12. So 12 plus 3 is 15, and now I'm done with those parentheses. I've done everything inside of them. So I don't have to rewrite them anymore. I'm just going to add plus 10, and then I have 30 divided by 15. All right, moving on. No exponents. Let's go to multiplication or division. If I look in my problem, I see 30 divided by 15. So that's the first problem I'm going to do. 30 divided by 15. 30 divided by 15 is 2. And I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem that I didn't use, which is plus 10. No more multiplication and division, so I'm going to look at last for addition and subtraction. I only have one problem left, 2 plus 10, which gives me a final answer of 12. I hope you saw how I used order of operations today to be able to solve brackets, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Thanks for watching.